Come president, freedom fighter, yo, addressing the press, yo, talking about the ordinary people, yo, no rigging, less, yo, the really establishment crime, yo, man down.
So folks, welcome to the live press conference of the Economic Freedom Fighters of Liberia. This is to the Liberia television, and now folks, we are here at the headquarters of the Economic Freedom Fighters of Liberia, EFL, as they are expected to provide.
So, ladies and gentlemen and members of the press, today we want to firstly take this time to welcome you to the national headquarters of the Economic Freedom Fighters of Liberia, where men and women assemble to remind the national governance and to remind the status quo of the missteps. This is where the president of the Economic Freedom Fighters of Liberia and all members of the Central Revolutionary Council make decisions of permanence. On behalf of the Economic Freedom Fighters of Liberia, we would like to take this time to welcome every member of the press to our national press conference. This is a normal thing where the Economic Freedom Fighters of Liberia address series of national issues and national concerns, and where the Economic Freedom Fighters of Liberia also made national policy statement direct the masses on where to go. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, permit me the latitude of time to call to the podium the Baba Wataba of the country, the man who presides over men and women in red, defending the massacrated dominance of the Republic of Liberia. Permit me to call on the podium, former president, the man who is the most powerful man parading the corridors of the Republic, the man who understands the movement around the intellectual paralysis. Ladies and gentlemen, members of the press, permit me the time to welcome the president of the Economic Freedom Fighters of Liberia, former President Commissar Emmanuel Gombe, leader of the press.
Well, thank you so much, the student command. I want to say thanks to the national chairperson, Commissar Steve Culliver, the vice chair for economic affairs, members of the Central Revolutionary Council, the leadership of the DOR here present. We want to say thank you to the media for always granting our call to come to duty. You are here to execute a duty that reflects our people's joy. And so you are called the full Estes because you represent the interests of our people. On behalf of the Economic Freedom Fighters of Liberia and on behalf of the general public, we want to begin by congratulating His Excellency Josiah Yoma Boakai, and hereby refer to him as President-elect respectively, and urge all presidential candidates, including George Weah, the outgoing president of our country, to extend to the former Vice President of Liberia a congratulatory message conceding defeat because the people of Liberia have spoken. On voting day, the people spoke clearly in a resounding way. They spoke defending their constitutional obligations and rights to make the determinations on which party political leadership that will govern the countries in the next 6 years. we want to say this, fellow citizens and members of the press, that the economic freedom fighters of Liberia is moving at this stage to congratulate the former vice president as the next president of the Republic of Liberia, because we would not tolerate any form of self-arranged second round elections in our country. The Liberian people have spoken. They have decided the fate of this country by electing His Excellency Joe Newman Boakai as the next president. Segments of the ruling party and all of misguided individuals in the border politics of our country have decided to work behind closed doors with the National Elections Commission to pursue a possible second round. There is no second round in these elections. The Liberian people have spoken. They have given the mandate that they granted George Weah 6 years ago to the leadership of the rescue mission. We will not continue and tolerate any nonsense from the ruling party in terms of arranging a self-imposed rerun or any form of second round. We will not accept that. The people have spoken. We want to inform the international observer that are in Liberia that we will not allow anyone to come here to pretend that they can lecture us about democracy. We will not allow any international observer to come here and talk about peace when Liberia is already at war. We are at war against hunger. We are at war against poverty. We are at war against corruption. We are at war with devices that undermine human existence. So we will not allow anybody from the United States, anybody from ECOWAS, anybody from AU, anybody from anywhere EU to come here to pretend that they can lecture us about democracy. We are the masters of democracy. We are the oldest African republic. We understand the values of democracy, and we will continue to fight for democracy. Some of the people in the international organizations that are demanding that we, EFFL and other political institutions, refrain from making radical political statements that will jeopardize the peace. Even in their country, they have problems. Some of the people who come from Nigeria could not even organize effective elections, but they are here sleeping in a hotel demanding that we refrain from making statements that will jeopardize the peace, when there is already no peace. Our people are not at peace because coups is eating the country and we are at war against coups. So those who believe that we are here to listen to them, to lecture us about democracy, we will not listen to anybody. The EFFL believe in superior logic. If you come here and don't conduct yourself in such manner, we will deal with you and deal with you aggressively. Fellow citizens, members of the press, we want to say to the Elections Commission, this country deserves better, and we are all stakeholders of the peace that we want in Liberia. We are all stakeholders of the electoral process. We want to encourage the Commission to do the utmost thing. This nation, democracy is the cornerstone and bedrock of our society. Our community deserves to survive. Our nation deserves to survive. We will not allow anybody at the Electoral Commission to work with the CDC as they are doing. We have gathered intelligence that the former president of Liberia, Mrs. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, is working with the National Elections Commission to thwart the election result in favor of CDC. We want to remind Mrs. Sirleaf her days of playing with Liberians are over. We want to remind Mrs. Sirleaf that we will not allow her dominance anymore in the border politics of Liberia because she represents the corrupt elite class. We will not allow the corrupt elite class to continue to dominate our politics and make decisions on our people's welfare. We will stand firm as EFF to defend the democratic credentials of our country. Even if people will have to say that we are radical and extremist organization, we will accept it because we are defending democracy. You can remember, those who are telling us and pretending to lecture us about democracy, few years ago, I will remind you that when the Arab Spring, When Comrade Mohamed Bouazizi took on the bold step to fight for freedom in Tunisia, they were hailing him. When Comrade Mohamed Bouazizi took the bold step to fight for freedom, they were hailing him. When the revolution spread across the Arab Spring, these very people who are demanding that we subscribe to their norms, they were there sending weapons to Libya, they were there sending weapons to Syria because they were supporting the so-called liberation struggle in the Middle East. I want to say this to you. The West has always stood by their interests, not the interests of the ordinary people. So we will not take any instructed note from the West. We will continue to pursue our global political agenda. We want to make sure that this country is governed by law. We want to make sure that this country is governed by men who believe in Liberia. We want to make sure this country is governed by people who care about our people. Look at our health sector. Look at our education. Look at the agriculture sector. There are young people who are graduating from university every day and every month and every year, but they cannot find job to do in any of the sector. We will continue to pursue the path that will give Liberia self-respect. We cannot continue to subject ourselves to any country that will derail the image of our country. Liberia is a country we call home. We do not call America home. We do not call Great Britain home. We do not call Germany home. We do not call Nigeria home. We call Liberia our home. This is where our naval strength is buried. This is where we will fight for our freedom. This is where we will defend democracy. This is where we will fight for the total economic liberation of our country. We cannot continue to sit down and fold our hands. Our citizens go into poverty, and every year people are dying in the Red Sea. Every year people are dying in the Atlantic in the name of migration. The Europeans are killing our people in the Red Sea. They are killing our people in the Atlantic in the name of protecting their territorial boundary. So we will fight to make Africa better. Nobody will come here to teach us about democracy. Fellow citizens, members of the press, you journalists, you have a responsibility. You monitor the elections. You saw the outcome of the elections. You went to places and took pictures of tally sheet. You have them in your possession. Some of your friends who are regime collaborators, they are there reporting fake results. They have to refrain because this country must be freed from the hands of George Weah and his people. They have done more harm to the country than you can ever imagine. We cannot sit and allow you journalists in the media to continue to undermine the democracy of our country. You journalists in the media that are collaborating with CDC because of money, you have to stop because you can't continue to undermine the existence of the country. This is not professional journalism. You cannot receive money and announce fake results on your radio simply because you are allotted airtime from the regime. You have to stop. You journalists that are doing this thing must stop. We all have to join hands together to fight for our country, not for you to take money from CDC in the dark and then fight for CDC in the day. We will resist you as well. You are enemy of the state because you are working for CDC. You are enemy of the state because you don't believe in your people. You are enemy of the state because you self-prioritize your pocket. Any journalist who will prioritize his pocket or her pocket against the well-being of the people, that person is an enemy of the state. We will conclude by once again repeating ourselves that we call you today to send out a resounding congratulatory message to His Excellency Joseph Nyoman Boakai for winning these elections on first round. We call on political parties, we call on civil society organizations, we call on the Muslim community, we call on the Christian community to begin to congratulate Joe Boakai as the next president of the country. We want to say this to you, that we will not allow any self-imposed rerun of the election. We will not go to any second round. The Liberian people have spoken. The money we should be using to go to second round, we need to use that money to build the health sector. We need to use that money to put medicine in the hospital, because 6 years now, CDC has refused to put a single paracetamol in the hospital. They have rendered our health sector paralyzed. We do not need to go to runoff election. We need to use this money to build our health sector. The elected president needs that money to begin in a 100-day deliverable to begin to do these things. We cannot allow CDC to come out and parade with fake results that will push us to go to run-up election. I conclude on this. Mr. Salif, we encourage you to take your hand out of election. Take your hand out. You represent the elite corrupt class. We do not want to do any business with you. Take your hand from the election because we want a free, fair, and transparent election. We want this democracy to be protected. We want Liberia democracy to be rated in the world. We want the country to be on the map. We can't continue to sit down and see that our country being called a fragile state. We are tired of people calling Liberia a fragile state. We are tired of people calling Liberia an undeveloped state. We are tired of seeing the airport the way it is. How can you be a serious country? Every day you receive only one flight to your country. How can you be a serious country when your airport is completely dark? How can you be a serious country when APN terminal is breaking our port apart? How can you be a serious country when a scam city scan project is at the port breaking the country apart? This is not a serious country. We want to make sure to make Liberia a serious nation. That's why we are here. Thank you. May God bless you and save our state. No question.
So folks, that's it. That was the Commander-in-Chief of the EFFL of Liberia, the Economic Freedom Fighter. You just listening to him, sending congratulatory messages to the standard bearer of the United Party, Ambassador Joseph Yuma Boakai. And folks, that's it. This is Today Liberia Television, and my name is Archie One. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure having you on this broadcast.